What if I tell you that procrastination is not your biggest problem? Now, most people feel like they procrastinate because they are lazy, unmotivated, or lack discipline. But the truth is much simpler. Listen up. Now, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And today I'm going to show you how to stop procrastination permanently by building simple systems that make productivity automatic. And by the end of this video, you have a practical framework that you can use to start more with less stress. Welcome back to the channel. If you've ever planned to study, work, create content, start a business, or achieve goals, and you find yourself scrolling social media hours later, you are not alone. Listen up. Now, procrastination, the good news is that procrastination is not a character flaw. Yes, procrastination is a system problem. And that's why in this video I'm going to be discussing 5 powerful strategies that you use to stop procrastination permanently. Yes, these strategies are very, very powerful to stop procrastination permanently and create systems that makes you productive every day. Now, the first powerful strategy is what? Stop relying on motivation. Yes, the first mistake people make is they are waiting for motivation. And motivation feels great when it's there. But the problem is that motivation comes and goes. That's one of the biggest problems. But listen, successful people don't rely on motivation. That's what you need to know. They build systems that help them carry out tasks when they don't feel like it. Now, for example, instead of saying I want to study, create a system. Every day at 7 p.m., study for 30 minutes. Just observe the difference. Notice the difference. One depends on feeling, the other depends on schedules. Now, the more you rely on systems, the less you rely on motivation. The second powerful strategy is make starting easy. Yes, most procrastination happens before the work even begins. Our brain often exaggerates how difficult a task will be. Yes, this is what our brain actually does. And the solution is simple. Just use the 2-minute rule. Yes, the 2-minute rule. If a task is feeling overwhelming, reduce it to a version that takes less than 2 minutes to carry out. You want to study, open a book. As simple as that. You want to write one sentence. You want to work out, you want to exercise, put on your workout clothes. Now, the goal isn't to finish, the goal is to start. This is one important thing you need to know. The goal is to start. And we know that starting is the hardest part. Now, the third powerful strategy is design your environment for success. Yes, your environment shapes your behavior more than your willpower. Now, if your phone is on your table while you are studying, distraction becomes easy. If your snack is on your deck while you're trying to eat healthy, temptation becomes what? Easy. Stop working on only yourself. Try to work on your environment. Don't just work on yourself. Try to work on your environment. Your environment matters. For example, when you want to study, put your phone in another room. When you want to study, put your phone in another room. Keep your books where you can easily access them, where you can see them always. Keep your books nearby. You understand? Where you can easily see them. Your environment, like I said, your environment matters. Remove distracting apps from your home screen. Yes, remove distracting apps on your home screen, because this is also your environment. So remove distracting apps from your home screen. Now, when you do more of good habit, you tend to follow them more through easily. Yes, when you do more of good habit, you tend to follow them more easily. Now, the fourth powerful strategy you need to know is that you need to create daily priority systems and not to-do lists. Okay, listen up. Now, many people create long to-do lists and they feel overwhelmed. Yes, this is one thing you need to know. They create long to-do lists and they feel overwhelmed instead of creating priority systems. Now, for example, in the morning, you create one major task, two medium tasks, and three minor tasks. What does this creates clarity, and clarity helps to reduce what? Procrastination. Clarity helps to reduce procrastination. When you know what is needed to be done, your brain spend less energy on deciding and spend more energy on what? Executing. This is very important. This is very, very important. And clear minds tend to perform action. You understand? Clear minds tends to perform action other than minds which are not clear. This is what you need to know. And the fifth powerful strategy, a very, very powerful strategy and productive, which is now you have to stay consistent and don't bother about perfection. You understand? Stay consistent and not perfection. One of the biggest problems of productivity is perfectionism. Many people miss one day, they give up. Many people miss one day and they give up. And this is not actually how it needs to be done. Now, progress isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. You need to stay consistent. Now, 20 minutes of study is better than nothing. 20 minutes of study better than nothing. A little workout you do is better than nothing. So you have to stay consistent. Consistency is very, very important. You don't need to bother about being perfect. You don't need to bother about what? Perfection. You understand? Consistent. You need to focus on building streaks. Consistency leads to a better result, and a better result leads to what? Confidence. So this is what you need to know. You don't need to stay consistent. Okay, guys, let me just give you a brief recap on what we discussed, the powerful strategies. First, we talked about stop relying on what? Motivation. Successful people don't rely on motivation. They build what? Systems that help them to carry actions, even when they don't feel like it. So stop relying on motivation. The second I talked about is what? Make starting what? Easy. With the 2-minute rule, you are settled with this. So make starting easy just with the 2-minute rule. The third I talked about is what? Design your environment for what? Success. Design your environment very well for success. Like I mentioned some examples. Put your phone in another room while studying. Keep your books around you and remove distracting apps from your home screen. I mentioned those examples. Then the fourth I mentioned was what? Create daily priority systems, not to-do lists, so you don't feel overwhelmed. Then the fifth I mentioned was that stay consistent and don't bother about perfection. Remember, procrastination is not defeated by what? Working hard. Yes, procrastination is defeated by what? Systems. When you create systems, this is what procrastination. This is what defeats procrastination. And remember that small repeated tasks would always beat procrastination. Small repeated tasks always beat procrastination. Please, if you found this video helpful, do well to subscribe. Share this video to a friend that needs to stop procrastinating. Thank you very much for watching. See you in my next video.